to people in front of the cameras. And it really like kind of like pushed my passion because I always had a passion for writing and I always had a passion for like learning about that kind of stuff.
We are on air. So, Cake, man, introduce yourself to the world, please.
What's up, y'all? I'm Cakeeq123 over on Twitch. I am a Twitch streamer. I blog, so I'm a blogger, I'm a writer, I'm a reviewer, I'm a talker. I do a little bit of YouTube videos here and there. Like you might catch me on there sometimes, not all the times, but we trying to get that back. But mostly just Twitch right now, and my blog is what I'm really focused on. A little bit one of the older crew, like 31. So we got our own little small community over on Twitch for the 31, 30 and older club. So,
Dirty 30
yeah.
Club, man. Hey, I'm about to join y'all, man. I'm about to join y'all. So far, you are the youngest guest we've had out of the two guests we've had. So I think it's yeah. So you good. So man, we gonna jump straight into it, man. How did you come into Twitch streaming or streaming in general content creation? Where'd you get your start at?
So I think the first thing in general was just having a love for talking to people anyway. Like, I mean, like obviously like not in like certain settings, but like when you just want to talk and want to chat and want to converse with people. Um, so I used to, well, I still do, but I used to like, especially back in the day, watch a bunch of content creators, Dash EXP, Corey Kenshin, um, Team Four Star, just watching a bunch of people who were just doing their own thing and being their own person on the internet. And it was just always like my thing. I would just turn on YouTube. I wouldn't even watch TV. I'd watch YouTube channels. And I know some people thought that I was weird for that, but I'm like, this is my like entertainment. And it feels like I'm like in the same room as them. So then one of my friends, he actually started a channel and that made me think, well, if my friend could do it, then I could do it. Twitch seems easy, so why not? And then I started streaming. Honestly, it was weird how it happened. The pandemic happened. And then I'm like, okay, well, this is the perfect time. We're all in the house. Ain't nobody doing nothing. We all just sitting around. Like, we're all looking for something to do. So why not just stream and learn to talk to people? And that's what I did. And I started my channel late 2020 and been on ever since.
Nice. So you were not the first person to mention Corey Kenshin, man, and I'm a, hey, I'm a little late to the party on that, man. I just got introduced to him not too long ago, man. He's a very dope creator. For those of you guys who don't know, definitely go check out Corey Kenshin on YouTube, man.
Yeah, man, he is really, really fun.
So talk to me about being a creator during the pandemic, man. Were there challenges that you faced? Like, how did your startup journey go with that?
Oh, I think everybody kind of has that same startup where it's like, oh, this ain't working out. I'm gonna quit. Nobody's here. Like, and you just kind of feel like, well, it's over. Like, I guess nobody likes me. Nobody wants to listen. And then you got that one person who comes in and they're always there. And then they bring another person and then they bring a person. And then now we're all like kind of talking to people. And that happened to some extent to me. But to another extent, it was like I kind of was very proactive about my channel. I knew in like my hindsight, I guess I knew in the back of my mind that like you got to create a small community of people who want to be here with you. So I kind of took it upon myself to like join other people's communities and like talk to other people and join their Twitch channels and follow them on Twitter and see what they were talking about, see what they were like in their day-to-day lives. And, so I kind of did that, befriended a bunch of people, me, you, and Digimike, and a lot of different other content creators. We'd all be in the same channels and we'd all just be chatting it up. And then I'd go to bigger channels like that were getting like thousands of views and become friends with some of them people in there. And like we just always talk. And I'm like, eventually you kind of grow the balls to just kind of say like, oh, well, I stream too, guys. Like, I don't know if y'all knew that. I don't throw that out there in somebody else's
right.
Like, at the same time, like just to let you know, I stream too. And it just grows from there. So that was kind of like the baby steps that I took. Because like obviously you don't just get there overnight, but
right.
those were like my initial steps.
So did you have like a vision in mind when you first started this? Like, what's the end goal for Cakeeq?
I did. I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to not be Twitch famous, but like I definitely wanted to grow like a following, which I have, but not to like the extent that I want to, but like, steps, right? So my first initial goal was like just get like affiliate. Because I think affiliate is just having 3 consistent viewers and then like I think 100 followers or something like that. Passed that goal the first like 2-3 months, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what do you do now? Like made your goal, and like that felt great. What do you do now? Now my next goal wasn't partner. I'm sure if it was, it would have been a lot harder work. But my next bigger goal was like, okay, get a setup. Because like
Get
people
official.
watch you and stuff. Yeah, get official. Exactly. Like, because people will watch you no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you're talking to them. I feel like, and as long as you're kind of friendly with them and friends, and getting people to come in and kind of stick around and stay. That wasn't the problem for me. Mine was getting official, like getting my camera set up, getting my light stream set up. Those were like the actual hard parts of streaming for me, was like the technological stuff. Cause I am not like the biggest techie. Like I can figure it out. I could Google something in a minute. But like getting everything together was just kind of like, okay, that took far longer than I would have rather had paid someone to do it for me. Like
I feel that, man. So talk to me more about streaming during the COVID era, man. Was it like, so did you feel like it was harder to get that sit down audience with everybody, being at home and having so many outlets to reach out to?
I don't know. Like I didn't really even think about it until after the fact, honestly, because like I heard this because somebody else said this on the internet one time, and I was like, oh wow, that probably happened to me. And they said that like during COVID, nobody was doing anything anyway. We were all kind of stuck in the house. Like we weren't really able to like go outside, go do our normal everyday life things. And eventually I was getting paid essentially to stay at home from my job. So I ended up just kind of being at home, always on Twitch, and I'm looking at all my friends and they're on at the same times as me all the time. I'm like, we're all in the house. Like, so I never really even thought about that until after the fact, like way after, like years later. And I was like, COVID, I think helped honestly, because I don't know how it would be joining now. Because I know a lot of the people who I used to see online aren't online as much anymore. But like they'll still drop by the stream, or they'll still come say hi, or I'll still talk to them on social media or something like that. But I do think COVID definitely gave me like that push down the street that I needed, because we're all in the house. We can't do anything.
So that was COVID was the catalyst to where you're at now.
Yeah.
For sure. So, obviously you stood the test of time because, like you said, a lot of the COVID time creators are long gone now. So, what are one of the things that kept you going that made you want to stay with it to nowadays?
Just my general sense of talking to people, and I like doing interviews too. I like talking to people in general. Like I like gaming with my friends a lot, and like we would always just be playing. And I have slacked a little bit in the last like year and a half or so of streaming. But like, life begins again. So it's like you got to find a balance between like work, daytime, friends, social life, and streaming. And when am I in the house? When am I going to be in the house for long enough to stream? Because I don't know, I'm pretty picky about my streams. Like I like to stream, and if I'm going to stream, it has to be for 2 hours or longer. Like I really have these weirdo rules that I made up for myself in my head, and it's not like I have to go by them, but I just feel like, oh, well, what's the point of me streaming if I'm not going to be on for a while to like get an audience to grow? Like I have these like mental notes that I took for myself, and maybe it doesn't work for other people in their streams, but it like helps me out for my stream. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stream for 2 hours. I'm going to be on at certain times. I want to have a schedule. I want to do this, do that. And I think like now, I think I've changed some of the things that I like to do like during COVID.
Well, let's talk about your pre-stream rituals? What are those?
My pre-stream rituals were always okay. Setup, notifications, startup screen, tell all my mods, and then tell my friends. Hopefully your friends care, because most people will, but your friends are always
right.
the last ones pulling up. Like the people you see every day. So like I would always send out all notifications to all sides of the realm, like whatever you're on, I probably have sent a notification somewhere. And like, you just once you send out your notifications and you get your startup screen ready, you do your little intro, you kind of get to this point where it's like, okay.
Oh yeah. that was me. That was me leading up to this. You gotta do that. You gotta compose yourself.
Yeah, like you gotta get ready and you gotta get your game face on, or like, your personality, you gotta have it full front. So, and for me, that doesn't take too much, but sometimes it takes energy. So it takes energy to do it.
Do you have any like weird things that you do? Like, so like me, like I have to stream with socks on. Like I will not get on live and be sockless for free. So like, do you have anything you do like that? Like, do you gotta like let the cat out, or what I'm saying, make sure you drink 3 sips of water or anything like that?
Oh no, Sable's my co-host. So he's around here right now. No, but I do always have to have a drink. I always have to have my vape.
Oh yeah.
I have a drink right here right now. So like I always have to have that because you gotta hydrate. You gotta hydrate for the stream anyway. Even though that's like juice, might as well be. I gotta have my vape. I gotta make sure I went to the bathroom at least, because I hate going to the bathroom during my stream, because I hate leaving it and then coming back to like different numbers, or like you couldn't wait 5 seconds while I went to the bathroom, like, that kind of deal. But nothing too crazy. Like I don't have to spin around, click the lights 3 times, and like climb my stairs.
Right. So you spoke about the numbers. Are the numbers big to you by any means? Like, it's like, do they matter to you?
That depends on the day. Some days, like when you kind of are in your own brain, I think you think you're gonna get a big number, or you think the game that you're playing is just lit, or you're doing something that you think is important right now, and like those are the days where kind of like in the back of your mind, like you are like, ooh, I hope somebody comes. But then like other days, I'm just like, well, I'm just streaming just for me and my friends, and I'm streaming to make this a YouTube video. I'm not even streaming to like actually for the views. But like the longer I've gone on, the less I care about the views. A lot of the times I'll just get on and me and my friends are just chatting about stuff and people will come in. And I think when I was gaming more on my channel, I cared way more. But now that me and my friends are kind of just talking, we're just having a good time. Like we don't even, well, I don't know if they do, but like I don't care if people come in. Like we're talking and having a good chat. Like
So with this being such a saturated space, man, how do you separate yourself from others? Because you can pull up Twitch and you can just scroll and the list goes on and on of people you can click on. What is one thing that you do to set yourself apart from everybody else? What makes Cakeeq different?
I always thought about that, because that's the intimidating part, right? It's like it's a billion people can watch, and it's always like a million people streaming a million different games as well. The thing I always said was like, okay, I'm gonna stream something that I know people are watching, for one. But also, like, what I like to think that sets you apart regardless is always going to be your personality.
Oh yeah.
Whether you have something to say or not. If it's like real life type stuff, then yeah, people are going to listen, But that's always been me though. Like I've always like given my real opinions on things, and I've always like been truthful in how I try to come off. I think I'm funny. I don't know. I could not be funny, but like I think I'm funny. I'm funny as hell. But yeah, like so I always try to be funny. I try to put an extra bit of goofiness in there because I am silly. So like, but those are the kind of things that make me look at a streamer and I'm like, oh, I would love to watch them. So I try to put that out there. But also, like I said, I try to stay on for a while. Because like a lot of people will stream and they'll stream for like 20, 30 minutes and then it's like, oh, I don't have views. It's like you didn't even stay on long enough for people to know you were streaming. I've always been of the mindset people don't come in until after the first hour anyway. So I usually tend to try to stream long. So that kind of sets me apart. Like, oh, this girl's still on. I said I was gonna check her out. Like, let me look. And just being yourself, man. Like, just playing a game, even if you suck at the game, like just being yourself. People are gonna watch you suck at that game, and they're gonna laugh with you, like how bad you suck at that game.
I definitely feel that, man. The stream watches me shit it up on Fridays, on Full Send Fridays. We get in COD and get shit on, so I can definitely attest to that. Man. So tell me more about your content creation, man. Like, so outside of Twitch, what do you do? What can we find you doing?
Usually I am just giving my opinions wildly on Twitter. Like I'm always on Twitter, always. Twitter is such a fun place to be. So if you hit my link tree, my link to my Twitter is there. I I do. I won't say I'm not an Instagram model or anything, but I do post pictures. Like just trying to keep myself available to like the people who I surround myself with. I blog, which I got into officially kind of like around the same time that I started streaming. Like I'd always done reviews, but they were like short, minuscule ones. These are like my deep thoughts about things usually. And I do a bit of YouTube, not too much. I'm gonna try to get back into it eventually, but like I did a bit of YouTube. I've never streamed on YouTube. I kind of want to try that one day just to see what it's like. I'm a little bit nervous to actually do that. But yeah, and then so my videos on YouTube are up, but they're kind of old. So, and me and my family, we kind of do videos for holidays usually when we're all together because I have a lot of siblings on my dad's side and it's mostly girls. So we would always take vacations and do little personal things and then film it and turn it into a YouTube video and, just show people how my life is. And I've gotten a lot of comments on those videos actually, where it's just like, oh my gosh, like y'all look so fun or this and that. So yeah, like I just try to put my real life out there and not like too much where it's like, okay, why are you sharing that?
Right.
Be like, she's cool.
So talk to me about the blog, man. So like blogs, a lot of kids probably don't know what a blog is, man. That's like one of the older standing forms of content creation. So talk to me about that, man. How did you get into it, and what makes it so special to you?
So so like I said before, I did short form reviews on movies on my Facebook all the time.
Okay.
And I would go to the movies first because movies are my thing. I always go to the show. I don't care how much money I'm spending. I'm going to see what I want to see.
Dope.
And I'm buying some food. So I would always go to the movies. I would always go see the latest movies that were like super popular, not because like I had to, but because I like actually was genuinely interested in it. I do like a small review after because I know people are going to like want to see this or spend their money on it. So I do these short-term reviews on my Facebook. And eventually I was like, dude, I have more to say about this, but I don't want to make it like a huge thing on Facebook. So I'm like, why don't I just start a blog and do my reviews there? And then it all kind of like just clicked and like the gears started turning and I was like, oh, like I can make this a thing. So eventually I started doing movie reviews and then I moved from movie reviews to TV show reviews. And from that, I went into like a couple of video game reviews, actually, anime reviews for like certain animes that I would watch. And then eventually, like, I think 2 years ago, I think during the pandemic, I started doing celebrity gossip pieces because I'm really interested in celebrity culture. And those were some of my biggest clicks. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I think I got my stride here. I think I know what I'm kind of good at. I think I know what I'm kind of like lacking on when it comes to the writing. But like, I've always been a writer. I've always liked to express myself down on paper. and like just get it out of your body anyway, because like I want somebody to talk about this with, you know, and
Right.
I mean, I could talk to it with me, but like that's no fun. So I would just express myself that way.
Right.
And it just kind of took off a little bit. One of my articles now has like almost 700 views. And it, of course, is a celebrity gossip piece. So people like that stuff.
So what are your favorite celebrities to, find gossip? So it feels kind of TMZ-ish. So, what's your biggest story, man? What do you feel like,
One of the stories is something I just made up on my own, honestly. It wasn't even something that was like particularly happening. The one story that I have that has almost 700 views is about this old TV show called Dance Moms.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar.
Yeah, like it was huge back in like the early 2000s.
Oh yeah.
Or 2010s rather, because yeah. And it was about the main little girl, Maddie, and her relationships that she has with the women in her life. And for some reason, that one took off. And I really did not. It's always the ones you don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't expect to get that many views. I didn't expect a lot of people to even remember what Dance Moms was. And lo and behold, a couple of years later, it has over 700, almost 700 views. And I'm just like always astonished at it. And but then like certain things would happen in the public, like big stories would pop off, like Danny Lee getting kicked out by her baby daddy and the baby, you know, that happened and that got a lot of views. The tragedy that happened at Travis Scott's concert at the Astrodome, that happened and that was wild. So those kind of articles like always like stood out, but they always were like things that just were popping off and people were talking about it anyway. And I think that's why it popped off. Those are kind of my favorite ones to talk about now, especially. I'm always looking for my next celebrity gossip piece. I'm always waiting on them to do something stupid so I can talk about it.
So do you have like a background in journalism? Like what made this come about? Like other than you just wanted to, express yourself more than you did on Facebook?
I do actually. I went to community college um, a year after high school. And I did study broadcast journalism. Shout out to that teacher, even though I can't remember his name. I loved him so much. And I learned so much in that class about everything from the background to people in front of the cameras. And it really like kind of like pushed my passion because I always had a passion for writing and I always had a passion for like learning about that kind of stuff. And I think right after that, I did start those kind of like short reviews, just kind of like talking about movies with friends. But then on Facebook, I would start writing about it. So, like, I think broadcast journalism, those studies really, really pushed me forward because I wouldn't even know half the stuff that I know if I think if it wasn't for that class. But then also on YouTube, I tend to watch a lot of other people's reviews. And that helps you learn as you go too, because you watch them and you listen to the language, you hear the lingo, and you learn from like what they're saying, like producers and executives and this and that, and like, you know, certain cameras and B-roll footage, this, that, the third, da 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 da. When is this season coming? When it, you know, you learn sort of things, and like you learn as you go, and that's what I've done. Really, is just learning as I go. Even with my blog, I still have problems with my blog sometimes, but yeah, like I think broadcast journalism really grounded me as not only as a writer, but just my passion for journalism anyway, and talking about things.
I feel that. So, do you have plans to scale the blog up by any means? Like, can this translate into long form YouTube content, or can you bring this over to TikTok and express yourself on a different format?
Oh yes, I always said that I wanted to do, and I don't know what it is. Like I'm not scared talking in front of a live camera, but for some reason, recording myself scares the crap out of me. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. Like in front of live people, it just feels like you're talking to somebody, but in front of a standing camera, like just giving your thoughts and then editing it back, it's like, oh, I look stupid. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. But I really I have this deep burning desire deep down to just record myself and my thoughts, write up a script for each video, and just record the same things that I would write down. And I'm like, a part of me wants to do that, and then a part of me wants to keep it in blog form just to make sure I got out everything. But then, like, I don't know. I feel like I could get my personality out there either way. But like, a burning desire of mine is to do a YouTube video with this stuff and just record myself doing it. I just gotta grow up.
All right, man. The only thing holding you back is yourself, man. You are your biggest enemy for sure.
It's literally me. I'm my worst enemy when it comes to that, and I don't know why that's such an issue. But like, I could do a review on Twitch in a heartbeat. Like, me and my friends do reviews all the time, but like, just me sitting in front of a camera talking about it is just, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
All right, so talk to me about content creation, and when I think a lot of times us as creators, we find ourselves in low points in creation and we feel like things aren't really working. So how do you get through those points? And what are some of your strategies for working around them?
Oh, people have those? I never get those. No, I'm kidding. I think once the world put back into place everybody's settings and we all got back to like life, like it kind of became harder to stream as regularly as I wanted to. And then you get that guilt. And that sucks. Like, when you're guilt tripping yourself, like, I haven't been there in so long. Like, hate me now, and nobody remembers me, and my channel sucks. And that's more my issue when it comes to like being a content creator. It's just remaining consistent, and consistency is key. I've always said that, like, especially for when you're starting up. Like, I'm not starting up anymore. I'm like 3 years in, so it's not really like the true startup game anymore. Like, the hard part is done, like the semi hard part rather. Um, but like, those are my low moments. And I just gotta remember, like, sometimes, like, okay, somebody's gonna stop by, even if it's just somebody you actually know in real life. Like, even if it's not somebody who's like normally on Twitch, somebody's gonna stop by. And even if it is somebody normally on Twitch, you gotta just like keep going and talk to them. Cause I've gotten that guilt so often. And then like talking to other streamers who also take breaks sometimes, and they'll be gone for like a few weeks, and they'll be like, well, you just gotta jump back in, man. Like, you can't like just not do it. And then like, you go when you're not ready. That's what I've learned. Like, if I'm sitting up here like thinking to myself, like, oh, I wanna stream, I never stream. I stream when it's so random, like, and it's not even like I didn't even think about it. I just hit the button and just was like, okay, so I'm live. I'm gonna get my stuff together. I'm gonna start up my laptop and all of that. Like, it's just like getting started again is the hard part. But you just gotta go, even if you're not ready, because that's the hardest part, is pressing that start button and just doing it.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. As someone who just came off a hiatus, you you hit it right on the money, man. You got to jump back in both feet.
And you get comfortable. Like, you get comfortable not streaming sometimes. You get comfortable like not having those conversations occasionally and not being like in front of the camera, and then you, like I said, that's where the guilt comes in. It's like, oh man, like, I should be streaming. It's like, I mean, go when you're ready, but also go when you're not ready.
Um So talk to me about longevity, man. So how long do you feel like you're going to carry this out? Like, is this something like you're set for life? Like, I want to be a content creator. Is this something you're doing, just as in passing, or are you, committed to the cause and ready to run through with it?
A bit of both, actually. Because I think everybody thinks like, oh, like, I'm in it for the long haul. Your mind might change in 5 years. Like, I've been doing this for 3. And I do see the longevity in my personal like career of it. I do love doing it. I do love streaming on Twitch, and especially now that I got some of my gear set up, a lot of my stuff is it's a little jazzy now. It's cute. So that excited me to get back into it. But also, like, some of the things like I said, my things have changed. So I see a little bit more longevity. I think if I was just gaming, I probably would be a little bit bored with it. But now that I've gotten into more chatting and just like doing what I want on camera, or like just talking about what I want on camera, I see a little bit more longevity in it. Um, Watching other content creators really helps me with that. But I do think that I would love to like make a transformation into like not like a talk show host, but kind of like a just chatting character and who games sometimes. Um, and just getting into that side of it because I see more longevity in that part of it. The gaming side, I won't say I don't see it, but I'm a gamer, but I'm not like at the same time. Like I game every single day, but like I just don't see myself Twitch streaming gaming every single day.
Right.
I find more enjoyment out of speaking with others about similar things that we have in common than I do gaming a lot of the times. And I would love to take that form of content and take it to YouTube like I do with my blogs. And I would love to make YouTube videos out of it and do a little bit more with that. And I think that's what's going to lead to the longevity is just talking about the new things that I like to talk about and doing maybe little quick clips of things like that. But like just short term would be like gaming for me.
For sure. What games are you playing right now?
Right now, I hate to say it, Genshin Impact. I stopped playing, honestly. Like, cause I was known for Genshin.
That's how I found you, for sure.
Yeah, like I know a few streamers who are like still playing day one every single day, and I'm just like, do you do? I am so bored. Like, not even bored with the game. It's just like, oh my god, just like my eyes twitching. Like, we won't talk about Genshin, but that was like that was the game I was kind of known for. But like now, I'm more into Fortnite. I'm more into like shooters. Me and my friends try to jump on different shooters like Rogue Company. I liked Fall Guys, but none of my friends liked Fall Guys, and that made me mad.
I love Fall Guys, man.
I love Fall Guys. It's so silly watching those beans fall. Among Us was fun for a while during the pandemic, but like, and I had a friendship group that like played that, but I gotta blow the dust off that chat again to see if they want to play it anymore. But Genshin just released Fontaine, so I got back into Genshin maybe a couple of weeks ago just to explore that new area. So I'm semi back in Genshin, but not entirely. I might stream it, might not. I don't know. But mostly like shooters right now. I'm picking shooters.
Dope, man. A lot of love for shooters over here. Everybody who's a usual guest over here, they know how we get down.
Yeah, so, and I even started playing a game that I never thought in my life that I would ever play, Call of Duty.
Oh.
Yeah. Warzone at or is it Warzone? No, I think I have Modern Warfare 2 or something like
that. Okay. Yeah, that's the current title. How do you feel about that? That is one of the most toxic gamescapes out there. How do you feel? So are you...
I've played it a few times and I'm so crap at it. I don't think I have an opinion on it.
I got you. So you know they're not very nice to women over there. How did that feel?
Talk to anybody. So I played with two people, and obviously, like those were people I knew. And like so, I didn't get the toxic side just yet. But I'm scared. Like if I kept going, I probably would because I know people talk trash on that game. And, like it's nobody's business. Like just talking crap for no reason. And like you know the racist remarks might come up, and like the oh you're just a girl kind of stuff comes up, and like oh you're crap because you're a girl type stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to jump into that community too deep. Fortnite has been treating me well though.
Oh, yeah. So talk to me about being a woman in the gaming landscape, just period. Like, you know, I think a lot of women creators get a lot of flack for the way that they express themselves. Have you had any type of adverse reactions in the world?
Not particularly for me being a girl per se, because or at least not that I was ever aware of. I think a lot of my viewership came from the fact that I was a girl, honestly, sometimes. Obviously, I know for a fact that girl content creators have it a little bit easier than guy content creators. A lot of guys get on and they are looking for a cool girl to watch. And then I'm not like, like I dress like myself. Like I dress how I would dress on a regular day basis on there. So like whether it's cute or not, like, hey, this is what you're getting.
Right.
So like, you know, like obviously girls have a little bit of that sex appeal that they could throw around out there. So they honestly they get a little bit more support, and their channels tend to rise a little faster than certain guys do. And I mean, that part of it is like obviously a little biased, but I can't help the world we're in, you know?
Right.
So I do think that I got a little bit of a push from that. I mean, it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be like a decent looking chick who plays games. That's cool, right? To most guys, like it's like, oh yeah, like let me watch her for a second, you know. Oh, and she talking about this? Like, what's up? Like, yeah, let me get in the conversation. But I also don't feel like I've ever gotten that flack because I tend to like a lot of guy things. Ever since I was a kid, I watched Dragon Ball Z. I watched wrestling. I still watch the pay-per-views for wrestling. I play video games. Me and my brother were just talking about AEW last night, and we used to play Sonic, the OG games like Sonic Adventures, and then like Sonic 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, all those kind of games. I played Mario on my own time back in the day. Like I've always been interested in guy stuff. And I think that came from growing up with my big brother. He got me like anything that he liked, I had to like automatically kind of. And like I think that that's where like a lot of guys kind of tend to like gravitate towards me anyway. And like, you know, if you like are a girl like me, like, or like you grew up a tomboy, you kind of understand that like, you know, you get along with guys because you have similar interests as them. So I think that helped. So I don't ever think I really had those like super big downfalls that some girls have, because I think some girls get on and they use their sex appeal as a way to kind of get views. And I think some people frown upon that. And I'm like, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But I'm just being me. And these guys like it. I don't know.
There you go. There you go, man. Whatever works. So talk to me about wrestling, man. Me and you have shared a couple conversations on Twitter when it comes to watching these pay-per-views, man. Did that play a role in your personality or the way you present yourself as a content creator?
Yeah. That was one of my bigger things that I wanted to do on my stream, because I would always talk about wrestling. Like I grew up watching wrestling ever since I was like, I can't even remember the age, but I had to be like 5, 6, 7, something like that, because my brother's 6 years older than I am. And he was around watching WWF versus WCW. So like,
it's a beautiful time. Yeah.
We were always into some stuff, and like the OGs, like Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold, stuff like that. We were always interested in stuff like that. And like, I think that that's where I got the idea to kind of like, okay, that's what I'm going to dive into when I stream, because that's what I want to talk about anyway. Like
there you go.
right now, did you see that pay-per-view last night? Like those are the kind of things that I wanted to talk about. And that kind of pushed me even further to get my stream together professionally, or get it kind of official, because I was like, okay, today I don't want to talk about this game at all. Like I just want the camera on me so we could talk about what happened last night at Survivor Series, or like, you know, like that kind of pushed me forward to stream more. And then that rolled into the, okay, well, why don't I talk about celebrities? Why don't I talk about this? Why don't I talk about that? So it's like, you see how your personality could kind of push you forward into like, it's a domino effect.
So what's your favorite promotion right now? Are you a WWE girl or are you AEW?
AEW are making big mistakes. I don't know.
Oh man, it's gonna be controversial right here.
Was crazy. I mean, not crazy, but like, if you're gonna drop him, you need to drop the elites too. So I don't know. But that's another conversation. But right now, I mean, I watch WWE more than I watch AEW. I'll watch AEW matches. I don't watch a whole show of AEW. And I think I only watch their matches simply because a lot of stars from WWE went over there and they were really good wrestlers. They have really good characters. But right now, I even slowed down a lot on how much I used to watch wrestling. Like once Raw went to 3 hours, I think they tired everybody out. And now I'm just down to watching the pay-per-views. I mean, like, who even has cable anymore? So I can't watch that crap anymore.
Right.
Especially not weekly for 3 hours and then SmackDown for 2.
Mhm.
It's a lot of content to watch, and I'm not down. I'm not here for it. I'll just see what happens at the pay-per-view. I'll see the feuds. I'll see the matches. So I'm always going in blind, but I kind of like that better because now I just watch the video packages or I just watch what I see on social media. So like right now, I'm more of a WWE girl as I always have been, but WWE is just as bad. Like, they got some good things going for them right now, like the Bloodline, the Judgment Day. A few characters are killing it out there, but yeah, like 5 hours of content plus possibly NXT if you chose to. Oh god, it's so much stuff, so much wrestling. We're like in another golden era of wrestling, but it also feels bad.
Oh yeah, I feel that for sure. So talk to me about being a Black creator, man. Have you had any challenges with that, or how do you feel about the space that you're in?
I've never gotten a racist comment, and something inside of me wants to just get that part of it over with. Like, just like come in, do your stuff, and just say what you got to say, so I can kick you out and block you. But then a part of me is like, girl, you haven't gotten that for a reason. Don't let these people come in here and do that. But like, I've heard stories, so many stories, and so many, like, I've seen it on YouTube, I've seen it with other people, and like, I've seen it on Twitter where like people are attacked simply just because of their race. Either like even with cosplay or like the things that you like or this or that, or and you're getting called like racist terms for it, or like, you're just getting attacked for like just being Black in general. And thankfully, I've never had that happen to me. I've heard of the hate raids, and I had to ask what that was at some point because I was like, oh God, am I going to get one? I was scared for a little bit, but yeah, I've never had that happen to me or any issues like that, but I'm kind of thankful for it too because I don't I don't necessarily need you to recognize that, oh, she's Black. Like, it's just I'm a good content creator. Like, fuck the race, like, excuse my language, but like, forget the race. Like, I'm a good content creator in general. I'm a good talk host in general. Like, I'm a good talker in general. So, we're going to be talking about stuff. Like, my race doesn't need to play a part in that for real, unless we're talking about something like about race, then my race obviously has to come into it because then your feelings have to come into it. But I don't think I've ever had any challenges specifically because I'm Black, unless I just, again, didn't realize it.
Right. So negativity aside, like as far as racist remarks go, do you find yourself do you feel like you've ever been like buried by the algorithm, or you don't feel like you're getting like the views that you feel like you should be getting? Because at the end of the day, you definitely you stand by your content 100%. So is there ever a time where you feel like the numbers are low and you're like, maybe if I was a creator of a different denomination, would I be further than where I am today?
Not particularly. I kind of look at it like this. If my numbers are low, I tend to go into my brain and I'm like, okay, people have lives. I almost make excuses, and not like bad ones or anything like that, but I make excuses for myself. Like, okay, people have lives, people have jobs. It's not the pandemic no more. Nobody's just sitting in the house hanging out all day. I make those kind of excuses as opposed to like just being like, oh, well, if I was a different race, maybe like I don't look at it like that, but like, I mean, it could totally be that. Like, could be. And I know that I do have my creator tags as African American, Black, woman, and chatty, I believe. So like those things pop up, and if you're looking under those tags, you'll see it. And I noticed a lot of my clicks actually do come from that.
Nice.
So yeah, so like, but at the same time, like, now that you bring it up, I kind of wonder what it would look like if I was just the average streamer on the other end of the spectrum. If I was a different, race or something like that, would I get more, play off of that? But I try to stay out of that like side of my brain in that sense because I don't think that should hold you back. I think that if you're a good content creator, you're a good content creator. People are going to like you no matter what. And the ones who don't, it's just like,
fuck them.
I don't like you either.
Right. I feel that. Oh man. So you are somebody who is into celebrity gossip, man. How do you keep up with the latest news and trends? Where's your go-to? Are you more of a Reddit user or are you Twitter?
I've never used Reddit a day in my life unless like a link on Google just took me there. I don't have a Reddit at all, so but I am definitely a Twitter user because Twitter just, I don't know, it's something about Twitter, man. Like people just want to give their thoughts in that 180 characters or less, man. Like they just want to give their thoughts. And not only that, Twitter broke mode with the trending topics. That was Twitter's thing first before anybody else. So like things would happen, it would trend. And then like immediately after seeing it on there, I would go to Instagram. So Instagram would always be my second source of news. Like if people are talking about it online, now I gotta go to Instagram to see like if these other sources of media confirmed it via like pictures and like um story explanations from the articles and stuff like that. Um Facebook is like absolute last. Like, I mean, Facebook is where I go. Like, if I just want to see other people's actual thoughts on it.
Right.
But the reports usually come out of Twitter fastest. I feel like.
I got you. So, what role does the culture play in your content creation?
We talk about it all the time. We talk about stuff all the time in the Black community, and like, I think a lot of Black artists always give me the tea. They always are because we always doing something. We always doing something that needs to be talked about. Like, did you look? Come on, somebody come over here and look at this.
Right.
Like what Kevin Hart said, like, come over here and look at this. Like, what is he doing? Like, it's always something to talk about with us. Like I said, that Danny Lee and the baby situation, that was also one of my biggest reviewed blogs. People just flock to drama, man, and we tend to have a lot of stuff to talk about, like whether it's something I'm interested in or not. Like I'm gonna probably say something about it. But I think also like the things that I tend to talk about, a lot of my Black community likes anyway. Like my friends actually like to talk about, so they'll read my stuff. Um, but yeah, like I mean, we dive into other communities as well, like Hollywood, like strictly like white Hollywood, or like uppity Hollywood or A-listed celebrities, and then we'll swoop it on down to like the hyper ghetto stuff, like crazy like things that have happened, like the Montgomery brawl. Because that was a big thing.
It was.
And I like, yeah, man.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That always happens, and like, so I have to say something about it. So like, I mix it.
Gotcha. So how frequently does your blog drop? Like, are you like to the minute? Like, if something were to happen today, are you cutting a blog, that night to be able to push it out the next morning? Like, do you find yourself crunching?
Yes. It depends on how invested I am in the story. So when that Danny Lee situation happened, I was on live. I just happened to be woke that night because that stuff happened at like 1 a.m. And I immediately started clicking and turning my gears. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to write up a rough draft right now. Like, he said this, she said that. Can you believe it? Da 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 da. Like, I was crazy. Certain things I will stay up all night to just write about, or certain things I will stay up all day, just consistently in my bed, just, yep. And then, wait, backspace. Like, I will literally just write for hours on it. But like, then other times I find myself not having anything to talk about because nothing's interesting me right now. It just varies. It varies very. And then in between those celebrity gossip, that's when I try to do like a movie review because I'm like, okay, I could watch a movie anytime and talk about a movie, you know. But the celebrity news, it has to really strike me to make me stay up all night for it, or write about it immediately as it's happening. And then sometimes like you don't want to do that because something else, some new information might come out after you wrote your blog, and now you put it out there to the world, and now it's new information to talk about. Now I gotta update this stuff, or now I gotta rewrite it, or I gotta do a whole new blog or something. I did that with the Jamie Foxx situation actually, and new updates came out like the day after I put it out, and I was like,
It's almost one of those things like you gotta find your stride and really hit it when it pops out. So like with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, did you do anything for that? And did you find yourself like, oh, here's an update, let me, go back and fix this, or, re-put something out?
Said I would, but I never did a blog on that, and I really should have. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I was gonna do it after the court case because they were in court for weeks, and I wanted to make sure that I had all the information because I really didn't want to form an opinion on that while they were still producing evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and all the stuff started coming out. Because I know everybody was like, "We hate Johnny" at first, and then like eventually it was like, "Oh no, like she was the actual bitch." Like and like they flip flop real fast, and like 1 second you're on this person's side, the next you're on that side, and so I never did my thing on that. Like, and I'm kind of regretful that I did, but maybe like by the 1 year or 2 year anniversary, I might run it back and see where they're both at in Hollywood, see what they're both doing, and then I'll write a blog on it. Maybe.
I feel that.
I always said I wanted to do that, and I never did.
So, on days that you don't put out content, or like you feel like you don't have anything to talk about, like, do you feel bad for missing out on a chance to put out content, or do you have things that you do to fill the gaps other than the movie reviews?
I do. So me and my friends started talking about things together. Now I'm just like in my head, we have had such good conversations that I'm like, okay, what else can we talk about? Like, we don't just have to stick to movies and video games. Like, we did one video game review, and I was like, yep, this the crew. This is it right here. We did a Hogwarts Legacy review, and we just had like, I think we were on for like 4 hours talking about that game, and we went through so much stuff. I had a listing of it, and we had such a good time just laughing and talking with each other, even in general. And I was like, yeah, we should do this more often. Why don't we talk? Why don't we talk, you guys? Like, we're friends. Like, we're friends on Facebook. Facebook said we're friends. Why don't we hang with y'all? Like, so I was like, yeah. So then that led me to like, okay, I'm gonna just make up topics of my own then.
Mhm.
And eventually we're gonna end up doing an unpopular opinion stream. I gotta collect my unpopular opinions. I feel like they just come to me. But yeah, I just started making up topics of my own like that. Like, oh, did y'all see the whole Montgomery Ball situation? Yep, let's add that into this talk today. Like, okay, now we're doing unpopular opinions. The other day we did we were talking about the celebrity attacks and stuff. And then sometimes we talk about what I blog about. So it for me, it's like about having people to talk with. Because
Mhm.
I mean, it's a little small part of me that doesn't feel like talking by myself exactly.
Mhm.
But like if I have that companionship there and like to bounce off of people's ideas and stuff, or like the just back and forth, and maybe, I attack your opinion about it and you attack mine or whatever, and we laugh about it, something like that. Like, it's easier to do. But like when you're just kind of alone doing it, that's why I like having a friendship group. Because like when you're just alone, it's just kind of like, well, that's what I think.
So yeah, it definitely sounds like you hold your core friendship group very near and dear to you, man. So talk about your community. Like, well, one, what are you guys called? And two, like, what do they mean to you?
Yeah, the Cupcake Crew. That's what we call it because I'm Cake. I've been Cake my whole life. That has always been my nickname. Um, so I just thought Cupcake Crew would just be cute because
Mm.
like they're my minis. And I love my friends. I love anybody who supports me on Twitch and comes back and has good conversation.
Mm.
And I think that I have rounded out my community to very intellectual and very cool people.
Mm.
Um, they can have a smart conversation, but then we could get down and play a video game. But then we'll turn it around and have good laughs. I have a very big variety of friends, like all races, all ages,
Mm.
all everything, and it's just very, very entertaining to talk with them and have a good time with them. And I'm always messaging. I'm probably bothering them like half the time. Like they're probably like, "Girl, I don't want to hear from you," but I always try my hardest to like get them in on a stream or let's talk about this, let's talk about that. But then, like, you drop by their streams and you're helping build their community too. So it's like a team effort to help everybody out. And like I appreciate anybody who always had come to my stream, spent money. Like you didn't have to drop dollars on me, and some of them have. And like, but I think my most important thing that I love about them is just chatting with them and like gaining that sort of sense of dialect between each other and just or dialogue. I'm sorry, between each other and just having a good time on stream, like talking, and like that's more important to me than actually like the views sometimes. Like it's just like, oh, what did you do today? What happened with y'all? What are you up to? Like, you know.
Do you have plans to expand your community? Like, do you want to see it grow to where you got a Cupcake army at some point?
I would love to dive into other things that also would attract other viewers and other kind of viewers. Like I always like dressing up on Halloween, and I always thought like, well, what if you did cosplay? And I know that would attract a whole different side of Twitch that I may or may not be even ready for. I feel like people are harder on cosplayers than any other anything on Twitch or like Instagram or Twitter or anything. Like you'll get attacked if you don't have the button in the right place of that character that they love so much. So it's just like, I mean, I would love to expand and do certain things. Like I said, like talk show hosting kind of interviews, cosplay, maybe even dance if I decide to get back into dance again, and like just certain things that like are near and dear to me, but that would also help the community to kind of grow. And I've gotten pretty good at stopping by people's streams. Like even if it's not every stream, I try to like come by, even if I could just drop a lurk right quick or like just come by, see what you're doing and stuff. Like I would love to expand. And like, you know, that's why I really always appreciate when people give out free shout outs in their chats, because it's like free chance to expand, you know, like people are like seeing your name and they're like, oh well, maybe I'll follow her and see what she's on.
Right.
You know, so I would love the chance to expand the Cupcake crew into the Cupcake army.
Nice.
But you know, that'll come with time.
So as we draw to a close here, man, the biggest question I have for you, you've been doing this for 3 years now. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started? What advice do you have for your younger self?
How to set up the stream. That took so long. No, I mean, honestly, yeah, that will be one of them. But like, just stay consistent with it. Because I think that's like one of the most important things that you can do. Stay consistent. Don't get that survivor's guilt of like death that haunts you. Like, you know, just come in, have a good time, ask people if they want to play with you. Not the weirdos, the cool kids. But yeah, no. But yeah, and just have a good time on Twitch, because like I think at first we all go through that period of not knowing what our thing is, and then as you start to find it, you just start to grow. So like just knowing that you're gonna find your thing. You're gonna find your thing. I'm still in the process, but I'm finding my thing, you know. And I think I found a bit of my niche. So everything will come with time. So you have to take the time to stay consistent. And that's always the advice I give any streamer: is just stay consistent and make sure you have something to talk about if you're going to stream. Don't come over here being boring, because nobody want to watch that. I'm leaving.
Oh yeah, we don't want any dead air.
Yeah, dead air. That's the exact word for it. Yeah.
Yep. I think back in the recording days, they say we don't want you out here wasting tape, because you know that shit was expensive. If you were recording, you were literally taking that tape and it was, you know, you were spinning on it. So trust me, I feel that 100%. Like last week, I didn't have an interview. I didn't even want to stream because I didn't have nothing planned for that. So that's why I reached out in advance to be able to do this. And I'm so thankful for you being able to come out and sit with us, making our second episode dope. My boy Cell set the bar high, but I think you definitely reached and got up there with him. So for that, I thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
was excited to do it all week.
Dope. So, man, this is your final minute or so, man. Shout out everything you need to shout out, man. This is where you plug everything. Let them know where to find you at. Let them know when the next stream's coming out, what content to look out for.
Okay. So again, it's your girl Cake, and that is Cakeeq123 over on Twitch. Crown me cute, crown me underscore cute over on Instagram, crown me underscore cute over on Twitter. My link tree should be in the comment section. So that is a click to everything, everything that I want you to have anyway. I don't want y'all on my Facebook. I don't know y'all but yeah, my Instagram, my Twitter, my blog is www.hubpages.com backslash communicate. Get it? It's cute.
I like that. I fuck with it.
Yeah.
Nice play on words. I feel that. Trying to name shit. Oh yeah, trust me. Been there. It took so long to come up with the name Unplugged. But yeah. Thank you so much, Cake. I'm gonna shut things down over here.